Okay, you know what it is. It's your boy Kamal Hart on the chart, going bar by bar. Here we go. Pre-market was a little slow. We have this move higher, and then this looks like a correction wave. It's definitely moving. It's making lower lows, kind of slightly lower highs, but it also kind of looks like a range. So it was a little tough deciding what I would consider this in the morning. Um, I opted to just kind of start off with a downtrend. So I had something kind of like this. Um, that was kind of what I was using at the beginning of the session. And obviously, there's the move there. If you really need to see it, just kind of like you could really do it off there, and then there's a breakout, two legs, or you could even do it off here, and there's still a breakout to a new high. So that was kind of what I was working with for the overnight. Uh, right here, that's just the first entry to the lows. I'm not really that interested in that. In fact, really, I was, even though we have this downtrend, I was still expecting a leg higher, to be honest. I looked at this and I was thinking at some point we're going to get another push higher. So, um, working down. And here we're getting close to the open, and you can see how we're catching support off this EMA. And then right there, once it broke above, that's a failed second entry short. Now, that's an aggressive trade because this bar is inside of that bar, inside of that bar. So in reality, there's kind of like a small congestion area going on right here, and I'm buying the breakout. So that's an error buying there. But I entered, and once I kind of realized that this was the congestion, and in fact, it took it a little bit to really take off, and there I get my scalp. But once I saw this bar close, I really switched up the tone, and I kind of saw this is my congestion or my range highs. So I was like, oh, maybe we're in a range. So I'm buying at the highs of a range, and I have one more contract. I'm not going to try to hold this for some sort of breakout higher, because at that point, I would have had this moved over like there. Um, my target's way up there, but I'm thinking if this is a range, we're not going to get up there before we probably stop me out. So I just exited with a 2 tick cover, small profit on that. Nothing much more there. And you get a little push. See this matching top to the high? That's a sign. And then right there you get that, move lower. And I really liked how it touched this side in reverse. That's a good sign that it is indeed a range. Um, and basically we're just moving in between. Just need to wait for a clean setup. Um, this isn't a clean setup. This isn't a good signal bar. Second entry long, right? First entry, second entry. That's not a clean setup. It's gotta wait. Probably have my midline in there. Boom. Get a little bit of movement, and then now starting to break out. I almost prefer to buy this, but off these highs, it's not really clean yet, so I can't take this. This is just too aggressive, and it would have failed. And in a certain way, this is a breakout pullback. Um, but let's really wait to see if we can get long somewhere down here.
Connection lost.
And so now this is the higher low, but we're on the other side of the range, so I don't want to buy on that side. Right there, it's close. That's close. I don't like how this ticked above first though. Close might be close enough, but it wasn't. So for that one, it's just I don't really like how that ticked above. Um, so you just gotta wait it out. And then here's the second entry, but this signal bar isn't that great. And here's the higher low. It's an inside bar, so it's another aggressive situation. I probably would skip this, even though it looks okay. Especially if this one failed. I really need to wait for a good setup. And once it breaks above here, you're going to get the failed second entry short. That's a better setup, like right there. That's going to be a better setup. So let's see if that one works. And that one's good. So you for sure get your scalp, and then from here, you're just trying to see if it comes up to this high side. It's pretty much all you would be expecting on this trade. There it goes. So that's a good entry. You can see how we bounced twice down here. I'm considering moving this down, and then I get to move the midline down a little bit, somewhere there. And this one breaks out the high side, but we're gonna look for it to retest back into the range, maybe like a high or low or something. See that matching top off the highs? Good sign. See that, and then a third touch of that high. When it breaks below here, like first entry failed, broke higher again. Once it fails there, I'm down to go short underneath this bar right there. Takes it a little bit though, doesn't break below yet, and then right there it breaks below. And off it goes. And then since we have these matching tops, we can just consider this to be one single top. So we can still look for the higher low and another failed second entry short. Like right here, this is the higher low. It's starting to go a little sideways, but in this context, we're still expecting prices to probably come down here at some point, so I'm okay with that. And then, you know, you get real close to that stop, but then it sets up again, and this is a second entry short to the lows. This is a failed second entry long. If you didn't take this, I feel better about this one, even though it's kind of sideways. I'm expecting this to come to the midline. And you get a pretty decent scalp, but you don't really get much more than a scalp. Here's a second entry short, which is okay, but I don't like how it's moving higher. I'm going to wait on the lower high in this situation, and that lower high never comes. You still kind of get a breakout higher. So and then there was kind of like a reversal, right? So off this low, first entry fails, second entry fails, but I'm not trying to buy that. So let's see what happens. At this point, I'll probably move my range up, and that brings our midline back to kind of where it was. Somewhere in here. This is our range we're going to be working with for now. See how it tests that high and then turns down? That's the lower high. So I try to get short there as well. But never broke below, so you're not even in yet. and right there, let's see if it breaks below now. There it goes, breaks below. Easy scalp. And then for the runner, once again, we have our target somewhere down here for that runner. And I mean, this one's fairly easy. Never swings higher than a previous swing. There's only one break above, and it doesn't even close above. That would have been a really easy runner trade if you were trading that. Super easy. So then we get that bounce off the lows. I like that. This is just, when you try to count off that high, I mean, this is a single high because it's a double top. So that's first entry, second entry. But we're going to wait for the lower, for the higher low. We're not going to just take this one off the strength yet. That's why those fail a lot. And there's a science to taking this type of entry, but it's just, you're better off waiting. So we're kind of a breakout pullback again, but we're going to really try to play the range. We got a strong move higher. I like that. I'm even going to give that a just a little trend line, just right through there. And then here you get kind of like a failed second entry short off this low, broke lower once, but it's messy because it never breaks higher, but then it breaks lower again, kind of like a failed break lower, and then closes on its high. It's a little aggressive, and it's going sideways for sure. So, you know, I don't think this is a good setup. Once, if you're struggling to see the second entry, that means it's not there. Second entries are clear. You know, when you really see one, there wasn't a lot today. But even like a failed second entry, you know, it's clear right here. There's this low, breaks lower once, moves higher, breaks lower twice, moves higher. Very clear. Once it starts getting noisy, I would just skip it. So gets a little push higher, and see how it's just going sideways. If anything, you know, if you really look at this carefully, then you're going to see the congestion right there. And all it did was break outside and try to retest the lows, broke outside again, and looks like it's about to retest the lows again. So, you know, we're on the wrong side of the range to go short, but here's a second entry short to this low. First entry, boom, second entry, and you try to exit by these lows. See? Ticks down, ticks up, but it never ticks above, and then shoots down. But we're not looking for that short. We're going to wait to get long. So we wait, and like right here, I like this because we have our micro trend. We have a breakout. It's debatable to say, you know, depending on how you draw your line, maybe this is the line, right? So then when we broke out, we didn't really make a new high. But if this is our current high, that's the first entry, then it pulls back. Here's the second entry, and that's a nice signal bar. And it's at the lows of this congestion. So worst case scenario, we want to see it test this line, right? And then the best case scenario, we want to see it come all the way back to these highs. So this is going to be a good trade. And it takes a while, kind of goes sideways, you know, but I don't really mind going, I don't mind prices going sideways on a second entry long. Only on the failed second entries will I kind of maybe reconsider this entry, but I'm cool with this for now. And see how it comes right to a tick away from your stop. You know, it's hard to hold it through that, but if you leave your stop one tick below where it's supposed to go, and on this bar you probably entered on the limit order, but one tick below where it's supposed to go, it doesn't get hit, and then boom, shoots off. So that was a good trade. And then here, once again, you kind of see how here, this is a failed second entry short off this low. Went higher, broke lower, went higher, when it broke lower. If prices break above here, you go long. And it's interesting because see how this happens to trigger right on our midline. It's like, it's really funny how often this happens. So I would also consider going long there. That ends up being a good one. What the? Okay, hold on. That's frustrating. Okay, I'm back. I had a quick interruption. So I think we were just talking about this trade. And then here, when we break below and then close on the highs, um, especially recently, we've been having a lot of these trades that set up on the midline. And a little aggressive, but oftentimes when it's on the midline like that, they work. So I'd probably risk this. It's a little bit of a big bar, so maybe size down or do what you got to do, but I like that setup. That one takes off. So that was a pretty easy trade. Unfortunately, depending on how you manage your runner, it would have came back and got you. Break even +1. So you don't make it all the way to the highs on this. On these trades, you're probably still in with the runner, but if you would have entered here, came back and got your runner. And then now that we're on this high side, I'm done going long. I'm going to try to go short once we get a touch or the reversal pattern. So, and you can see here, the reversal pattern is setting up, but I don't trust that. I'm really going to wait until we get up here. But it never breaks below. See how it doesn't break below? It almost set up, and if you're being impatient, you really shouldn't have been in because it never broke below. But the setup showed up on the chart, just never triggered. Then finally we get that high side touch. So, this trade, this ends up being a really nice trade. I mean, you go back to back. This trade is really nice all the way to the other side, and then this trade's super nice all the way to the other side. That's the nice thing about ranges. They're pretty predictable if you can get in at the right spots. They're pretty predictable, and you can get some big moves. So we're getting some stack up at the high, and we only have about 15 minutes left in the day, so I don't know how many trades we'll have left. So you can see that there's some congestion right up there. Now we're breaking outside of it, so probably it's going to be like a breakout pullback short if we get that. But let's see. So here's the high or low, but since it broke below, this green bar is our signal bar. I don't like that. That's not going to be a high probability setup. And it works. It works, but I still don't like that setup. And that gets us into 2:15, so I wouldn't take any more trades for the day. I'd be done. Yeah. That's all we got. So today, I mean, there's a good amount of trades and a couple really nice ones. This one's really nice. That was really good. These two are pretty good. So yeah, pretty good day, a range day. That's pretty much all it was. But tomorrow's Friday, so it's the last day of the week. We're gonna be back to it again. I got a couple more charts I need to do and study on, but today was decent. Okay, until tomorrow. Peace.